Hello, students. Now we will start our second session of international relations. In the first session, we have already discussed international institutions and some of the bilateral ones, right? In the bilaterals, we have touched Central Asia, we have touched India-Myanmar relations. So, if you have seen previously 3 to 4 months in with respect to the bilateral relationships, I have covered many of the aspects: India, USA, India, Russia, right? India, Germany, then India and Myanmar this time, India, Central Asia, and we are covering holistically whether these have been previously discussions. So I'm keeping the revision slides in it. Okay, so I hope it helps you. Right, let's start with summits and initiative. So first one is Global Health Security Agenda. Okay, so Global Health Security Agenda is very important because, as you know, as I already told you, starting with March month, that the COVID-19 or this year COVID-19 related efforts both at the national level at the international level both becomes very important, whether they are new initiatives or the previous initiative. For example, we have discussed AP, right? CP becomes very important for this year, right? So this global health security agenda is a group of the country, international organization, NGO, private sector, so means multi stakeholder. So how can you divide it? So just remember multi-stakeholder or United Nations, right? Or if anything is extra there, for example, International Energy Agency, some extra factors are there. So you remember like that. So you don't have to remember a lot of thing, NGO, private sector. No, just remember it's a multi-stakeholder platform. So idea is to advance a world are safe and the secure from the infectious disease threat. So it focuses mainly on the infectious, one of the focus on the infectious disease. Now, the idea of such agenda has come to move from a reactive approach to a proactive approach. For example, what we are currently witnessing with the COVID-19, it is more of a reactive in nature, right? It is more reactive in nature. So things are happening and we are reacting to it. Rather, having a proactive institution set up, supply chain to deal with such infectious disease. So members have adopted a Kampala declaration to extend for it to 4 more years to 2024. Right. So it needs a relook. Why? Because of this COVID-19. So this is why this was in the news. Now, however, it works basically on the four agenda. For example, member actions, member what they have to take. So each country member which is a signatory to it has to develop their own capability for prevention, detection and response. Then they'll set up some task force and other things. So this is basically their prevent, what they were to prevent antimicrobial resistance. Now I told you many of the time antimicrobial resistance is the big threat. By 2050 it is said to kill a million, around million people. Superbug, I've already told you, right? So antimicrobial resistance, then zoonotic disease. COVID-19 is also side of a zoonotic disease. From animal to human it is spread. Now human to human is spread is there. Then biosafety, biosecurity and immunization. So focus on these fronts. Then if something is detected, so we need to have national laboratory system, real time surveillance, reporting and workforce deployment. And then we have to respond some emergency operation center and all this. So as the COVID-19 unfolds, right, then all these initiatives becomes very important. So what about India's relation with this global health security agenda? So India is signatory to this particular thing, right? So framework to prevent, detect and respond to this infectious disease threat, right? Next is very important, Middle East Peace Plan, West Asia Peace Plan. Now starting with this, so it is basically it is Donald Trump's plan to solve the Israel-Palestine issue. First thing is that now Israel-Palestine issue is said to be one of the three hotspots of the world, right? What are the other two hotspots? Not it's a very not a very objective thing, but subjectively, along with the Israel-Palestine, Kashmir issue is one of the hotspots, and North Korea is one of the hotspots of the world. Hotspot, what does that mean? Basically, it means that any time, or you can say, um, at any time, it is like a power keg. Okay, anytime anything can happen, escalation can happen anytime. Okay, whether it be India, Pakistan or Israel, Palestine or North Korea. Now Trump, when he came to the presidency, so he promised that I will find the solution to this problem, right? And he employed his own son-in-law, Jared Kushner, for this. Just that's not relevant for our study purposes. However, the name of his plan is Peace to Prosperity, a vision to improve the lives of Palestinian and Israeli people. So, if the question is Peace to Prosperity document is released by whom? So, it is a Donald Trump's plan for the West Asia Plan or Middle East Peace Action. Okay, it aims to solve the Israel-Palestine conflict, and obviously it has been rejected by the OIC and the Palestinians because they feel, because obviously America has an Israel bias. Obviously, it's a very obvious. So they are not putting things in an objective manner. In fact, when we'll read about the plan very briefly, you will see everything that they have favored what the Mr. Netanyahu from Israel wants to tell Mr. Trump. So in the places in news we have not covered Israel, Palestine, and the spaces area. Let us quickly see here. So Israel Palestine area, Israel is there, right? This is Gaza Strip, this is West Bank. So these is predominantly two places where the Palestinians live. Now this is the place, this is the zoomed image in the Middle East, right? This is the Mediterranean Sea. Oh, sorry, this is the Mediterranean. So what place we are discussing? This is Mediterranean Sea, and this is the place we are seeing. Okay, Israel is mentioned there. So Gaza Strip and West Bank, here many of the Israeli occupations are here, right? They have fought many of the wars: 1948, 1967, 1973, Yom Kippur War. We have already discussed a bit about Yom Kippur War also. So they have fought many of the wars, Israelis and Arabs, Egypt and all. You can see Middle East. It is surrounded by many of the Arab world. So all the history I hope you have read in the world history. If not, please do see Israel. If you want to read about Israel Palestine, just go to the YouTube and Google it. I'll also try to come up with this video. However, currently time does not permit it, and obviously that's not very important for exam. From mains perspective, it may be very important, but not for pre. From pre perspective, this much is relevant. What we are discussing today. So coming back to it. So Tel Aviv is the capital that is recognized by many of the countries. Now Jerusalem is one of the contentious point between the Israel and the Palestine. Okay, so other locations. So let us see a few of the questions that have been asked in UPSC. So Israel has a common border with. So if you see, Israel has a common border with which countries? So Egypt is there, right? And Jordan is there, Syria is there, right? Lebanon is there. So let us see what was the question. Israel has the common border with. So does it have common border with Turkey? Answer is no. It has common border with Iraq and Yemen. Answer is no. Right? Turkey, no. Then it becomes very easy question. Lebanon, Syria, Jordan and Israel and other country. Then which of the following country in the Southwest Asia does not open out to Mediterranean Sea? So if you have seen, Israel is like that, Jordan is like this. So Jordan is not open to the Mediterranean Sea. So Jordan is a very easy answer. You just need to look at the map many of the times so as to solve many of the questions, right? Right. Coming back to what Mr. Trump has proposed. Now this is the Gaza Strip and this is the West Bank where the majority of the Palestinians live for now. In this territory. Now, many of the Palestinian refugees are there because of the Israeli occupation. They are spread out throughout the Middle East. For example, many of the camps are there in the Jordan. Many of the Palestinian refugee camps are there. So, what Mr. Trump says that we will expand the area of the Palestine. First of all, you can see Gaza Strip. So, this is positive for Palestine. Okay, some extra area they will get. Okay, some positive that they will get a tunnel from Gaza Strip to this area, West Bank. So Palestine, if it becomes a nation in the future state of Palestine, then this will be there. However, now the problem comes, what are the other things? So the Israeli occupation in the West Bank is said to be illegal. Now Trump says no, that will be legalized. So they have set up Israeli settlement. So they have accepted that some Israeli settlement should be there. First thing is that. Secondly, they have said that the complete Jerusalem goes to the Israel. Now, if you remember, when the US has declared Jerusalem as moved its embassy to Jerusalem. Majority of the world's countries' embassy, for example, India is having diplomatic relationship with Israel, so its embassy is at Tel Aviv. right? However, US shifted its embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, and US believes that Jerusalem is the capital of Israel. And in this plan also they have kept Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. So obviously it cannot be accepted to the Palestinian. They have made their own capital, Abu this. So this is the Jerusalem, West Jerusalem, and East Jerusalem. Somewhere on the periphery of the East Jerusalem, they have made this as a capital for the Palestinian Authority, right? So they also say that after 4 years, 4 years after this agreement, then some sort of thinking will be given that Palestine should be given a state or not. That means in this peace agreement, they have not talked about giving Palestine a statehood. Okay, so these are the very common brief what I have discussed. So this plan obviously seeks to discuss many of the contentious issue: border of Israel, state of Palestine, Jewish settlement is one of the big issue, right? Israel's security concern. So basically what happens, this Gaza, from Gaza Strip, many of the attacks happen on the Israel. Okay, and then Israel retaliates. So many of the future of the plan, this question will not come. The plan will not be asked that what are the details of the plan, whether it be pre or mains. I don't think the plan's detail will be asked, right? The question will be very generic in nature. If asked in the mains, in the pre, very objective questions will be asked. What are the name of the plan, right? And the previous things. So, for example, Jerusalem. So they have said it will be undivided capital. So it will not be given to the Palestinian. It will not be divided. So Israel will freeze the further settlement. So whatever settlement currently being done, it is fine. After that, Israel will not do any more settlement for 4 more years. It is a time for negotiations. Okay, so all the plans, whatever being given, many fronts, all favor in the Israelis position, right? That is why Israel is saying that okay, very good plan is there, very good plan Mr. Trump has proposed. Curb on Hamas. So Hamas is one of the militant organization that rises up against the Israelis. Okay, it lives in the Gaza Strip. Majority of the Hamas occupies the Gaza Strip. So Hamas, they say, Israel calls them terrorists, obviously. So Israel says that they should crack down the terrorists such as Hamas and Islamic Jihad. This is the Israeli demand, and US has said this. Secondly, Israel also wants that the cases against it, International Criminal Court. Okay, so Palestinian Authority should dismiss all its current complaints at the ICC against the Israel. So all the complaints against the Israel in the ICC, International Criminal Court, should be dropped because of the Israeli atrocities at the Palestinians. Okay, and US has made some investment plans also, that they will invest around 50 billion over the 10 years should Palestine accept the proposal and all these things. Okay, and obviously just remember in the final settlement that they say that Palestine get more land. However, if you can see what are the segregated land they are giving, so nobody can see the situation improving there. Then let us see a few questions. 2018 question: two-state solution is being mentioned in the news. Then two-state solution in the context of the Israel. So India believes in the two-state solution. India has a very unflinching commitment to Palestinian state. Okay, Palestinian cause. Right. Right from the time of the very starting, India has been very clear in its stand. Now we have made diplomatic relations with Israel. However, our stand on the Israel-Palestine issue stands undivided. So Yom Kippur War was fought between which side? So very easy, Israel and the Arab countries led by Syria and the Egypt and the Syria. If you remember, we have discussed Yom Kippur War. After that, 1973 oil crisis happened after Yom Kippur War, and after that, International Energy Agency was formed. So please see events in this direction. If you start seeing this chronological event in the international affair also, it becomes really easy to remember things. Next is now we will see not very important things, right? Very peripheral conference. Let us very quickly go through it. Starting with International Conference on the Climate Service. So ICCS. So it's a world premier climate service event organized by the WMO and Climate Service Partnership. So remember, not a United Nation or something like that. No World Bank, no United Nation. These things are not involved. So why it is in the news? Because it was held in the International Institute of Tropical Meteorology in the Pune. Okay. So this conference began in 2016, 2011, sorry, 2011, and it was launched in the New York. So this happened in Pune. Then Lighthouse India. So Lighthouse India is a initiative of the World Bank Group. So idea is to promote these best case study and the knowledge transfer and all this among the various stakeholders. Okay, so and across the countries as well as outside the world. So why it is in the news? Because a conference has been organized by Niti Aayog and the World Bank organized workshop on the energy, water, agriculture nexus, grow solar, save water, and double the farmer income. On this topic, workshop was organized. Okay, so remember Lighthouse India is a World Bank sponsored project. So workshop is a part of Lighthouse India initiative of the World Bank. Next is international global ministerial conference on the road safety. Okay, so very important because the question can come. We will see next. Stockholm Declaration. So Stockholm Declaration is related to the road safety. So they have set a new target for the 2030, right? So extending the 2020 targets to reduce the road death and the serious injury by 2030. Okay, right. So theme of the conference is achieving global goals 2030, held in Stockholm, Sweden, right? So this conference organized by WHO in association with the World Bank and the ministerial led delegation from more than 80 countries. Right. Next is related to it. What are the black spots? So they are the accident prone regions on the road. So they defined black spot based upon some objective criteria. So if they had 5 accidents involving fatalities and grievous injury in the past 3 calendar years, or 10 fatalities in the last 3 years. So 5 accidents are there or 10 fatalities are there in the last 3 years, then they declare that as a black spot. Next is ICOSDITAUS. So very long. International Conference on the Standardization of the Diagnosis and Terminologies in Ayurveda, Unani, Siddha Medicine was organized by WHO and Ministry of Ayush. Now this is not very important because I've told you many times, many of the initiatives, Namaste portal for example, we have read, right? If you remember in our governance session, Namaste portal. So this is for the same thing, standardization of the Ayush, Siddha and Unani. It was for that. So again, it is for to mobilize the commitment for the international classification. Okay, so they have adopted New Delhi Declaration. Not very important because not very. Stockholm Declaration is important. So New Delhi Declaration on collection and the classification of the traditional medicine diagnostic data. Okay. Next is Munich Security Conference, very important. So the conference heading was Vestlessness. Now one document for the, especially for the optional people to download, is this document, foreign policy document is there. Very good document, very good keywords and everything you will get. Very good keywords you will get from this particular document. The Vestlessness. So the idea is the world becoming very less Western? Is the West itself becoming less Western? The Munich Conference report shed the highlights on it. So the basically Munich Conference, Security Conference, it takes care of the security aspects, different security aspects, right? Not only the military security aspect, but also the health security aspect and many of the things. So they discuss, they meet people. It is called the marketplace of the ideas, right? So people mail, they discuss. Okay, right. So annual conference being held in since 1963. So from India, External Affairs Minister was present there. So yeah, so this is that. So as I told you, it is a marketplace of the ideas, world leading forum for debating the international security policy. So discussing the world's most pressing security concerns. Then, not very important, Sweden decided to have a food planet prize by Sweden. So they have created around 1 million prizes named for Food Planet Prize for solution to the food security. Okay, right. Initiative of the Sweden. Next is Maramon Convention. So not very important because it's related to religious thing, but it was a big convention. It was one of the largest Christian convention in the Asia, being held in the Kerala. Okay, annual year near the Pampa River. You can see many of the peoples being here. Okay, now people are coming up with the photos and that this happened in February. This is why COVID is spreading and all this. Next is, this is very important, right? The question can be asked, 2 billion kilometer campaign. 2 billion kilometer to safety campaign. So it's an initiative of the United Nations High Commissioner for the Refugees, UNHCR. Okay, last time we have read UNHRC. So don't get confused. UNHRC is Human Rights Council. This is UNHCR, Refugee Agency. So it's a walking campaign of the United Nations. So as an expression of solidarity with the many travels of the refugees globally. Okay, so why it's the news? So they have launched this particular campaign calling for the people all around the world to cover the distance as much traveled by the refugees. Why is the idea? So idea is to have an empathy, right? Reduce the xenophobic tendencies against the refugees. So reduce those xenophobic tendencies. Okay, right. So run, walk, cycle to achieve a cumulative total of the 2 billion kilometers. Next is International Day for Women and the Girls in Science. Not very important, but I've covered it just because we have read many of the initiatives in the past 3 to 4 videos. If you have seen women in STEM, right? Because 18th, 28th February is our National Science Day also, and a scheme like Kiran and all we have already discussed in the March month. So just in this spirit, I have covered International Day of Women and Girls in Science, 11th February. So implemented by the UNESCO and UN Women. Just one second. UNESCO and UN Women in collaboration with institute and the civil society organization. Not very important, you can skip it also. Starting with the country specific news. Starting with the first one. The once only principle, TOOP. Okay, so TOOP, the once only principle. So European Union countries as a part of the, this is the principle first of all in the European country. What is the idea basically? The idea is that citizen and the business should, this is the government and this is, just one second, this is the government and this is citizen and the businessman, citizen, many of the people. So they give information only one time to the government. It is not like that, for example, you for ration card you are giving information again, for bank opening you are giving information again. No, only one time information should be given, so as to ease the administrative burden on the people. Every time they don't have to show kagas, they kagas nahi dikhayenge, right? So every time they don't have to show their documents. So that is the idea behind once only principle. In the context of the public sector means the citizen, the business supply diverse data only once to the public administration. Okay, so citizens are not required to provide the same information more than once to the government. So this is that. Now, why it was in the news? So idea, the European Union wants a future to build a digital single market also by reducing the administrative burden. Now it was in the news in the context of NRC. So how to reduce the NRC administrative burden? So they say citizens should not be asked to provide the same information once more than the government agency. You know, the editorial it was in the news, and that is why we have covered it, right? So they talk about the best practices in the European Union. A Tallinn declaration about having to enact a once only principle. Okay, right. So the idea is to make government more responsible for the privacy hardship faced by the vulnerable social group, because every time they have to give the paper, lack of proportionality in the policy and all these things. Next is economic integration of roadmap. EIRM, not very important, but it can become important in the future years. Not very important because that it is still at as a conceptual level. So proposed by Sri Lanka as a sub-region. So what they want to do? So this is India and this is Sri Lanka. So the bottom 5 countries and the 5 states of India and Sri Lanka, they make a free trade zone or increase integration. Not politically, economically. Obviously not politically. So basically, Mr. Ranil Wickremesinghe has said that SAARC has failed. BIMSTEC is not an alternative to SAARC. So we need to develop the sub-region, right, as an answer to all this. And he says that we have the capability, we have the population of 300 million, right, and 30 crore people are the GDP of more than 500 billion. At least we should start something at our own level, okay, and integrate more deeply with the ASEAN-led RCEP, even if we are not part of the RCEP. Next is withdrawal agreement. Very important. The question can come, withdrawal agreement is in the news in which context? So different question, very easy वैसे. If the withdrawal agreement itself will be R, you will be able to guess it also. However, it's for the Brexit. So from Boris Johnson, when he's become the Prime Minister of England, so he's been negotiating for the Brexit. Now finally they have come up with, okay, we will have more transition period till the end of the 2020. Now the Brexit itself has become phenomenal. Many of the videos have come, what is happening, what is the profit, loss, fake news, and many of the topic related to the Brexit, right? Referendum, then possibility of second referendum. Two of the prime ministers have fell. David Cameron, then Theresa May. So a lot of issues have happened, right? Now, discussing about withdrawal agreement. So this is the transitory period. So for the transitory period till the end of the 2020, I don't know whether COVID-19 will extend it or not. So by the end of 2020, UK will remain in the transition period. So in that period, UK will continue to participate in the custom union, single market, apply EU law, follow the international agreement of the EU till it finally gets a divorce from the European Union. Okay, so finally they'll make a divorce bill and finally they will get out of it. They also say one of the option is the prohibits the extension of this transition period till the end of 2020 should not be extended beyond it. Okay. Next is new point based visa system. So point based visa system UK is now coming up with, especially its post Brexit scenario. Now they want to give the will come into force in January 2021 after this Brexit everything is done. So they want to come up with a visa system which is more skill based. So they will give points to the people. They want a bit threshold. If you point cross this threshold, then you will be given the visa. So they say it will reduce the migration in the country and it will bring out the skill based, more skillful people into the country, right? They say it will apply equally to the EU and the non-EU countries. Now, many of the Preeti Patel, for example, Miss Patel has been praising this system. However, the opposition party has called that it will create a hostile environment which will make it difficult to attract the workers, while some of the people have called it having xenophobic tendencies also, right? Okay, for our purpose, the question will be very easy. New this point based visa system, if the question being asked, so it is related to the United Kingdom. Next is Nuer and Dinka communities. So these communities are in the South Sudan. These community, if the question asked, and the question can be asked, that these community Nuer and the Dinka community, where you have heard about these communities are in the South Sudan. So the story of the South Sudan 2011, it got parted with the South Sudan. It became a new country. Then from 2013, it plunged into the civil war, right? From till then, for now they have a civil war. Now they have formed a unity government. So a compromise between these two community based upon the peace agreement that they have formed in 2018. So 2018 they have formed the peace agreement between South Sudan and the rebel, and finally they have formed a unity government now. In the 2022, finally the elections will happen, right? Okay, so let us see. So Sudan in 2011 was formed in 2011. So youngest country, it is still the youngest country of the world, between the majority ethnic Nuer and the Dinka community under the terms of the 2018 peace deal, right? So the capital of the South Sudan is Juba. Okay, so it has caused him around 380,000 lives. Okay, and from 2022 they will have some democratic elections also. So this is the country. This is Juba. This was controlled by the rebel community, and this is by the government. Okay, so this started how? After the conflict started after the president has accused some rebel leader that he wants to outthrow me. The same happened in Turkey also, if you remember, right? So the president said that rebels are trying to oust me. So he put him into prison. Then they start their own political party becomes the rebel, and becomes government, and they start fighting. And this is how the civil war basically starts. Now they come together to form a unity government. As easy as that. Okay, so with this we finish our discussion for February month February month international affairs. Let us quickly revise. We started with the global health security agenda. So what we have read here, that India is a part of it, right? And it has been established with the idea that we have to have an active approach to this infectious disease. Okay, and it after 1 month or 1 year it was formed, then Ebola is struck. Then next is Middle East plan of Mr. Donald Trump. The idea was to bring prosperity through peace. So the peace to prosperity is the name of the document. Then International Conference on the Climate Service. Not very important conferences and initiatives we have seen: Lighthouse India, Global Ministerial Conference on the Road Safety. We have seen Black Spot. Then we have, just one second, we have discussed about Munich Security Conference. So it is a important one. Then Maramon Convention we have discussed. In the Kerala it happens on the banks of the river Pamba. Then 2 billion kilometers to safety campaign. Then last of the initiatives is the International Day for Women and the Girls in Science. Then some country specific news. First is the TOOP, the once and only principle, established or we have read in the context of the NRC. Then economic integration roadmap, then withdrawal agreement, and with the Brexit, both the points, new visa based system was also with the Brexit, and finally we ended with the New Year and the Dinka community. Okay, so with this we finished the February month international affairs. So in the February month, what we have covered till now, we started with the places in news, then indexes, then tribes, we have already discussed that. Then in the governance 1, governance 2, governance 3 we have discussed, then international 1 and international 2, right? So if you're following this series, you may have found a really good structure that we are following, right? So we intend to do that, and we have been doing it from the start. So please download the PDF from our Telegram channel. Okay, so till then, I see you in the next class. Bye bye for now. Thank you.